So here I was, late at night, up at my computer after waking up from, I guess, a nap or me going to sleep, whatever you want to call it. It was about, 4 o'clock in the morning. And I was on my Discord talking to, of course, my people in my Discord. And me and my friend Dank was talking, and we were like, you know what? Dank suggested that it would be really cool if he decided to come up with a timeline for GS. And on the occasion, me and Dank have talked about the lore of GS in the past. We constantly bring it up to each other, especially around the time of the Blood Knights. We were very interested in how that entire story was unfolding. I was like, you know what? That sounds pretty cool. Why not do it? And I'll help out where I can. Good lord, was that the biggest mistake of my life. Bro, the GS lore is probably some of the most confusing shit that I've ever tried to put together in my entire career, livelihood, childhood, teenagehood, adulthood. It is confusing as fuck. And let me explain why. In GS, in order to get lore tabs, you have to have the units or the equipment. And then you also have to play in their events or whatever to get everything possible. So me and Dank pretty much sat here for 2 hours trying to figure out what the fuck starts GS. Like, what was the beginning of GS? Because you guys don't know, Reyes' story that is told within the actual GS main storyline is after a bunch of events. The Blood Knights, for example, came before Reyes. So you kind of see we already have some problems. So we're trying to locate what was the first thing that happened. Well, from what it seemed like, the Blood Knights were kind of the first, but then there's even more stuff dating before then. So now here we were, looking through every single unit that possibly we could, every monster, every boss, until finally we came up with, this is going to take a lot longer than just a few hours. The lore of GS, though, is very expansive, and it actually is a really cool read. And I do recommend you guys read it if you don't mind getting confused, I guess. There's a lot of stuff in the lore that, of course, isn't set in stone in the timeline, so whenever you try to think about it in chronological order, you may or may not be getting ahead. But like I said, there's a lot of cool stuff in the lore. Like, for example, did you know that Eden actually came from a completely different world? The world that he enters in GS is actually not the world that he's from. He's from a completely different world. Also, on top of that, Yomi and Sakura are also from a different world. Not Sakura Mira, however. You may be like, oh, is Sakura Mira from a different world? Well, that's a completely different story. Sakura and Mira fused whenever Reyes went back in time in Emira's story after touching Sakura's blade. Once Mira and Reyes touched Sakura's blade, they went back in time, and then some crazy stuff happened, and boom, Sakura and Mira fused to form Sakura Mira. Sakura's spirit lives now within Mira, but of course the Mira we know is still the same. So you see, that right there is like, what the fuck? That's crazy in itself, you know what I mean? You get a lot of things. Like, you see right here, this is Aug. Did you know Mars X fuses with Aug in the story of GS? As you can see, if you see on Aug's chest right there, do you see what that is? That is apparently, I guess, the form of Mars X. He actually shaped this form whenever Mars X combined his powers with Aug. This was the form that he created, was this fusion. So there's a lot of stuff with the lore, and I'm definitely going to be trying to work with Dank as much as I can to try to come up with how GS, I guess, started. What was the first event that happened? Because there's two things in the lore that I still don't understand. There's a text in multiple units encyclopedias, or contemplatives, whatever you want to call it, that says the Ancient War, and then there's also another thing that says the Great War. So we kind of have to put that in perspective, like, when did the Ancient War happen and when did the Great War happen? And then also there's a huge ass time skip between that period. There's a huge time gap. You can kind of see what we're getting at here. But I just wanted to make this video just to tell you how confused I am. I'm literally been bamboozled. I've been over here like drinking water, just looking at this stuff like, bro, my head is just hurting. I've literally been taking screenshots, trying to write down stuff, trying to order it in a way that maybe I could somewhat figure out consistency, because apart from events, that's the only thing that I can really get a chronological thing going for. And then heavens forbid, bro, whenever Reyes comes into the situation, it gets even more confusing, because most of the time whenever Reyes is in the situation, there's a lot of details that are left out, because Reyes is always left out in the dark, and of course GS is told from Reyes' point of view. And then not only this, Reyes can travel back in time, and then whenever you can factor that into a situation, it just messes up everything, because now you have to do time travel, and it's just like, oh my god, this is Kingdom Hearts version 2. But guys, that's pretty much the video. I just want to tell y'all how confused I am at this. If you guys want lore videos, please tell me, and I'll definitely try to see if I can come up with something, because a lot of cool stuff, a lot of interesting stuff in the lore about Recthrum. I think that's how you pronounce it. Arachthum is actually the world that GS takes place in, and there's other worlds apart from that, and I really would like to know more about. So if you guys do want to see lore lore videos, please let me know down below in the comment section. I can come up with them from time to time, add some cool effects and everything, and try to make it really into like a story. It probably won't be that long of videos though, because the GS lore isn't like that expansive with some of the units if I do unit specific stuff. But if I try to cover like a certain event, then of course it will definitely be longer. But guys, thank you all for coming out. It's been your boy OP. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for more Grand Summoners content on the channel. You guys already know, man. You guys already know. Don't forget to drink water.